Hello ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this video, I would like to ask you to leave a like and please subscribe to the channel. All the support means the world to me. This video is also designed to work as a podcast, so you can listen to this whilst you're working or playing video games. There's not much visual, this is all just in your earbuds, so enjoy. The title of this video is not a vision of my madness. It's something I believe to be 100% correct. Now before you start scrolling down to the comments to roast me like Stanley on the Mr. Waffles podcast, hear me out and see why I think Liberty Falls is perfect. So I think we need to start with a differentiation here. This video is not going to talk about Black Ops 6 zombies as a whole, and every now and then we'll bring in Terminus when needed. This is solely to look at Liberty Falls and why its design exists in its current form. When you first look at Liberty Falls, you can see a lot of open spaces with some signs of an incident taking place within the city. Fires on top of buildings, cars that are burned and destroyed, a standard scene for a zombies apocalypse in the daylight without much more of the dimensional science fiction that Call of Duty Zombies normally brings. The map from gameplay we've seen also indicates that it's on the smaller side compared to maps like Terminus, which is also coming in Black Ops 6. This could be seen as a bad thing, especially by the hardcore player base, but this is actually a good game design, as this will stop people losing their footing and getting lost within the space. To just break away a little, one thing we have to remember is that this map is partnered with Terminus. Terminus is quite the opposite, a very large map with a lot of enclosed spaces, bringing a lot more of the horror aspect under the nighttime sky. It will also bring in a scary new monster that is unique to the map called the Amalgam. Liberty Falls enemies are mostly used with the mangling abominations that we've seen in the past, which will bring familiarity to players of all skill levels, as well as mixing in the brand new parasites and vermin enemy types. Although first seeing this I was disappointed, as I believe that if the parasites and vermin were map exclusive to Terminus, then it could bring a lot more character to that map as well. After some reflection, I know now, after thinking about it for a while, why it might have actually been a good addition to also include them into Liberty Falls, as it will add some familiarity to the newer kinds of enemies we will face within the Black Ops 6 zombies cycle in a more open spaced area. The thing about Liberty Falls that makes it perfect is that it's a great introduction on every aspect for a new player, which in the long term is great for zombies players. Terminus and the rest of Black Ops 6 will most likely be designed for the hardcore players with some familiarity for new players, whilst Liberty Falls' main focus is just the onboarding of these new players. The developers at Treyarch most likely have data that showcases to them that it is crucial for them to onboard new players as soon as possible. It is better to do that now before it's too late, like some other games have experienced in the past. A great ongoing example right now is Destiny 2, which has always had an issue of getting people back into the game with its 10-year long story. And although the latest expansion, the Final Shape, has been seen as a very thrilling and has been well received by the hardcore community, it's actually had some of the lowest buys compared to other recent expansions. The issue for Bungie has always been trying to onboard these new players in the past few years, which has also led to these low buys for this latest expansion. Liberty Falls is there to try and onboard as many people as possible, especially with all the Xbox Game Pass subscribers that will be giving the zombies mode a chance and maybe potentially the first time ever. The Liberty Falls cutscene gives a good introduction to an important story beat. As a casual player, we can infer from when we see Richtofen and we see that he's haunted by the death of his wife and child that he's going through some traumatic experiences. We then can tell he's a very important figure in some scientific project, and they're informed that something is wrong with a character called Sam. We then see Richtofen in a rush to the elevator shaft to try and solve this issue. This tells us, the casual player, that whatever this issue is, it is very important that it gets dealt with as soon as possible. We then see Richtofen get abducted by Sam, and Richtofen saying, "Sam, you'll never be free," in which Sam replies that she already has. As a casual player, we can already assume that there's an ongoing issue between these two characters, and that will most likely be explored within the map's Easter egg as well. Now with the introduction of the brand new guided mode, which may not be there at launch straight away, but a few weeks after, it will allow casual players to understand the whole story that is to be told by the map. This can then also be used to guide them into future map releases to tell them that there's a hidden quest to be found in all maps. I personally hope that Treyarch releases the Liberty Falls guided mode first before they release the Terminus guided mode, so that it can tell those players that do the Liberty Falls guided mode that there's actually a secret Easter egg to be found within Terminus and they should go give that a try first. The map having a lot of open spaces increases the survivability of these newer players. Liberty Falls will also give a newer player a taste of what to expect with the Dark Aether exposure in the church, and who knows, this could be expanded on through the main quest to turn more of the map into the Dark Aether. The story focus will be shown to these players via the main quest through this guided mode. The enemies are also similar to ones that people have fought before in MWZ, with the addition of those new enemies, the vermin and parasites, that will teach them what will come up in the Black Ops 6 cycle. This map just truly isn't designed to keep hardcore players for too long after the release of it, with the main focus for the hardcore player base being Terminus until the new map releases later in the year. Liberty Falls is the onboarding map for players. This is the map for players from the hardcore community who want to teach new friends on how to play the game and to introduce them to the zombies mode. So far from what I've seen, this is currently the best iteration of this. The Giant didn't do an amazing job to get casuals into the story that was currently going on in the zombie space. It was, however, very good gameplay wise for those casual players, but it just didn't do a good enough job to introduce them to the gameplay that I'd experienced through the Eisendrache, Zetsubo and the other zombies maps. Black Ops 4 didn't really have any good onboarding maps at all. It did, however, have a tutorial mode, but I don't think the tutorial mode did a good job at introducing those players to zombies either. Cold War's D Machine, however, did a good job of getting people to try the mode, but it didn't do a good enough job to onboard them for the rest of the Cold War cycle. This was until Outbreak came out and a lot of casual players started playing a lot more Outbreak over traditional round based. The Transit survival maps also had the same issue as the Giant, with having good gameplay but again no strong story onboarding for those players. I am not a fan of the quote, "This X was just not made for you," but even though Liberty Falls may not be directly for hardcore players, the hardcore player base will definitely see some utility from this map. May this just be for a more relaxing experience in between Terminus runs, or just for some simple camo grinding, or even to play with some friends who haven't played zombies in a while. I think it's too early to write off Liberty Falls just yet, but what I've seen, Treyarch had a game plan, and bar a few mishaps, they are so far executing that plan quite well to increase the longevity of Call of Duty Zombies. I hope that this video has shown you my point of view on the situation, and I do hope that you follow for more Zombies videos. I truly appreciate all the support I receive, and please follow for more Zombies videos just like this one, or you can always go over to my YouTube shorts and watch all these Zombies trivia that I do every day.